Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullah. Welcome back, dear students. How was your week so far? We're going to just study what we took before we begin. Of course, we started with our unit, which is Unit 2. Now, we stopped at the topic of influential people, and specifically, we had our lesson, which is, as you can see by the ED, that it was the pronunciation lesson. So just to revise what we took in the pronunciation, now in English, the past tense ending ED has 3 different pronunciations, as we studied before. We have the D sound, we have the T sound, and we have the id sound. They are 3 different sounds for the same 2 letters. So let's practice. Now, as you can see that I divided my table into 3 parts. We're going to just practice the words that we have together, and I'm going to give you just a second to pronounce the word before I do. We have the first one. Where does it go? Does it go with the first part, or the second, or the third? Started. So we have here started is going to be, yes. We have the second word, okay, we have. Did you pronounce it? We have here watched, watched with a T. We have after that promised, promised also. After that we have the word, yes, you got it correctly. We have hated, hated. After that we have the word, so this one is easy. We have the word cried. It is a direct D. After that we have this one. Try this one. We have the word laughed, laughed with a T. After that we have imagined, imagined. And after that we have cleaned. The last word is going to be here. We have the word suggested, suggested. So as you can see, we have the ED ending in all the words but 3 different pronunciations. Now moving on, what did we take? What else? We had the vocabulary building lesson. So you can see in our vocabulary building that we took the 8 words. We have the words as we studied before. We're going to also revise what are the words that we have here. Now, I'm going to show you here these different pictures. We are going to just match the words with the pictures that we have here. So I'm going to show you the words one by one in alphabetical order. So we have here the first one. Which one of these words goes with the word assets? So we have here the word assets. Yes, correct. The second word, just match. Of course, there is an example here before we move on. We have here, the kingdom of Saudi Arabia is blessed with many rich assets. Moving on, let's see the second word. We have here, comply with. Which one of these words is comply with? Now you can see that we have here, yes, this is comply with. Okay, so just to make it clear and refresh your memories, we have here also this example. Now, the people of Saudi Arabia comply with the country's rules. Okay, so we have here comply with. Okay, then we took the third word, which is dispute. Now, do you remember when I told you that we have here dispute is very close to the meaning that we have in the book. So which one of the pictures can you match? We have here dispute. Yes, correct. So we have here dispute is close to disagreement, or that has the same meaning. So we have here our example. As Muslims, we obey and follow our religion in all our matters, even in solving disputes. After that, we have the fourth word. Yes, okay, so to refresh your memories, just read it. We have endowment. Now, endowment here, we can see that we have here the word endowment, which is to give charity or money to the less fortunate people. And also we have the word founder. So we can see that we have here 2 pictures. We have here 2 pictures as well. So which one goes with the meaning of founder? Now, founder here, we can match it with this picture, which means that someone who establishes, or a group of people who establish something. Now we can say King Abdulaziz Al Saud is the founder of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Moving on with another word, we have here 3 pictures left. We have the word hurdle. Now hurdle here, yes, it goes here. And we have also the word implement. Implement, you have 2 pictures. Which one goes with implement? Now implement is a word that you can just recall, or you feel that it is close to the word plan, because actually when we have a plan, we implement it. So we have here implement goes, yes, with this picture. And we have our example. Now actually you can see that we have here 2 words. We have the first one, we faced many hurdles when schools started online learning, but we implemented new systems to achieve the best results. Moving on, we have the last word. We have renowned. Now from the last picture, we can match, of course, the word renowned, and we can say that Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman is a renowned figure worldwide. Now we have here, these are the words that we studied in the vocabulary lesson. Moving on, we had the match as we did in the exercise. Just to check your answers, we have the answer A, G, we have E, we have B, H, D, F, and C as in order in the table that you have in your book. Now, we have here something about this slide, if you remember. Do you recall when we said third, go through the meaning in the context? Now, we talked about the context of Mr. Ahmed, if you recall the examples, and I gave you examples from the book, from the context that we have in the book, which is about Sheikh Sulaiman al-Rajhi. Now, we are going to move on and just see what we have here about Sheikh Sulaiman al-Rajhi. So our lesson, which is going to be the reading lesson in your book, which is on pages 26 and 27, is about Sheikh Sulaiman al-Rajhi. So we're going to study more about him, and now you have a complete idea from the examples and what we studied when we connected between the vocabulary building lesson and now our reading lesson. We are going to move on. Now, first of all, we have the question. What do you know about Sheikh Sulaiman bin Abdulaziz al-Rajhi? So we have here Sheikh Sulaiman al-Rajhi. What do you know about him? And there is another question also. We have here, what do you think matters to him most? Now, this is an interesting question. We know that he is a famous figure in Saudi Arabia, but the question, what do you think matters to him most? So do we know him personally? No, but because he is a prominent figure here in Saudi Arabia, there is something that he must be famous for. So we are going to study more and just look at what we have in the reading lesson, but before we're going to read our objectives. Now the objectives of the lesson. First of all, number 1, to list some of Sheikh Sulaiman al-Rajhi's accomplishments. Number 2, to analyze his work in different periods of his life. Number 3, to answer questions. And number 4, to scan for information and words. Now, as we have here, Sheikh al-Rajhi, now this is the first paragraph. Now, I'm going to give you a timer, and there are going to be questions. You are going to just scan quickly in the paragraph that appears here, and you can also follow up in your book, but look for the information that I'm going to ask you about. So we have here, of course, these are the words, the vocabulary building words that we just read before. We are going to go back and read them again in the context, but we are going to look for more information. So speaking of information, we have here the 3 parts here in the graph. First of all, write 3 things you found out. Now this is easy. I showed you the paragraphs before and the words that we studied because actually we learned some things while learning the new vocabulary. We have the second one, write 2 interesting things that we learned. And number 3, write 1 question you still have. So just to check what we have here, we have to write 3 things you found out. We can say that he won international prizes. We passed by establishing many projects and also just distributed his assets. Do you remember the word assets? And fortune during his life. Now, something interesting to know, we have here two things, that he was poor, and also that establishing the bank wasn't hurdle-free. Now, there must be many questions in your mind, but I'm going to see if there are any questions that you can just write down now, and you can find the answers while we are passing through the reading passage. So be ready. You can write down your questions, and let's start. So as we mentioned, you can just open your books on page number 26 and 27. Now, as I explained, we have here the table. Now, the first table, it has many things that I want you to look for. We have 3 words describing Sheikh Sulaiman al-Rajhi. And I want a prize. Now, we know that he won a prize, but what is the prize? A prize he won was, look for it, his birth, brother's name, and beginning of business. So I'm going to just go back to the first, so you can be ready for the timer. Let's just start now, and you have your time. You have 30 seconds. Just look for the answers. Yes. We have 2, 1, time's up. Now let's look for our answers. We have, yes, okay, so we have here 3 words describing Sheikh Sulaiman al-Rajhi. I helped you with 1. Did you find it? Let's look for another one. We can say that he was also what? What did you find? Yes, he was a philanthropist, and he still is. And we have here a winner of the 2012 King Faisal International Prize, which is actually the answer for the second question. Now, also, I asked you to search for his birth, which is, yes, in 1929. Did you find it? We have also his brother's name. So scanning, you can find that his brother's name was Saleh. And what was the beginning of the business? Now, here we have the answer is going to be changing money for pilgrims. This is how they started their business. So this is going to be our first paragraph. Now, starting with the second part, we have here the questions. When did their business expand? A date. We have here the event that time. So actually, the date and the event that time is connected to the first question, which was when. So I'm asking for a time. We have here, when did their business expand? Look for the date and also the event. Now we have after that the question, who did Rajhi brothers help? They helped someone. Who did they help? We have here another meaning, like they were allowed. So they were allowed. I want another meaning. I want a synonym for it. I would like you also to look for a country. So actually you have more than one country. And we have here what was special about a Rajhi bank. So we know that there is a Rajhi bank. What was so special about it? So we have here also the timer. We're going to start. Yes. Okay, so time's up. Now let's look for the answers. We have here, when did their business expand? We have the date, which is, we have the first thing, yes, 19, or in the 1970s. And the event, which is during the oil boom in Saudi Arabia. So there was the event, the oil boom. So in that period, there were big changes in Saudi Arabia. Who did Al-Rajhi brothers help? You can find it that they helped migrant workers. And then we have here another meaning, like they were allowed. Just to look for the synonym, you can find that it is what? They were granted permission. It has the same meaning. A country. Now, as I mentioned, there are 3 countries. We have Saudi Arabia, we have Indonesia, and we have Pakistan. What was special about Al-Rajhi Bank, and which is still special about it, that it is what? It complied with religious tenets such as a ban on interest. Now moving on to the third slide we have here, the third part. We have the questions, describe the bank's founding process. We have the question, why did he open an office in Britain? This is something interesting. We have the synonym of first, and 2 things British officials were not aware of. So we're going to start. Two, one, and let's start. We have the answers. The first answer is going to be yes. So describe the bank's founding. Yes, it wasn't hurdle-free. And the second question, why did he open an office in Britain? To introduce the Islamic banking system on a more international basis. We have the synonym of first is going to be initial. And 2 things British officials were not aware of. We have here the principles and requirements of Islamic banking. 2 things, principles and requirement. Moving on, we have the questions. The banking system was launched in, there is a date, and was subsequently implemented in. We have something forbidden in Islam, and 2 things people used to keep at home. So start. Three, two, one. Okay, time's up. We have the first question. The banking system was launched in, we can see the answer, yes, in Saudi Arabia. So we have here actually in a country. Okay, and then we have here and was subsequently implemented in. We have here, yes, the United Kingdom. So it was implemented. Something forbidden in Islam. Okay, so this is a very clear answer. We have here interest, which is forbidden. And 2 things people used to keep at home. You can scan here quickly and you find the answer is here, cash and valuables. Moving on to the second part, or the part after that, we have the questions. Sheikh Salman al-Rajhi is chairman of what? And also he is the founder of something. Describe how al-Rajhi felt when he visited a farm abroad. He felt, I want feelings, emotions. And why did he feel that way? There must be a reason. So start. Okay, so time's up. We have the answers. The first one, chairman of, yes. the National Agricultural Development Company and the founder of Al-Wataniya Agricultural Projects. Now I'm going to come to the feelings that we said. Now what did he feel? He was shocked. Why? Why was he shocked? By the improper way chickens were fed and slaughtered. So that's why he started the project of Al-Wataniya. Now we have the questions. What kind of farm project did he launch? Why? There are two reasons. What did he support? I want a word meaning make less, and other project areas were also you can mention too. Moving on. Okay, so time's up. We have the first one. I want two reasons, as we mentioned. We have the first one. Of course, what kind of farm project did he launch? He launched a poultry and a farm project. And we have here why, making sure that chickens were naturally fed and halal slaughtered according to Islamic tenets. We have here, what did he support? He supported organic farming, a word meaning less, which means reducing. And we have here other project areas were, so now we know that there is a Rajhi Bank, there is also something about Al-Wataniya, a farming, a poultry project, and also we can see that he had real estate and other investment projects. Moving on. Now we have a short paragraph here. Three words departments in the Sulaiman al-Rajhi University were, so you can just search for them. We have here. Okay, so I'm going to stop here the timer because actually we have here the paragraph is short, so you can see the answers are, we have medicine, nursing, and applied science. These were three departments in Sulaiman al-Rajhi University. Now we have two words describing Sheikh Sulaiman al-Rajhi's foundation. And what does SAAR now own? Two main actions of the foundation worldwide. Yes, so we can start here. You can see the answers. Now, two words describing Sheikh Sulaiman al-Rajhi's foundation, charitable and large. What does SAAR now own? It owns and controls more than half of Sulaiman al-Rajhi's wealth. And two main actions of the foundation worldwide. It organizes and oversees a number of charities and humanitarian activities worldwide. Now here, what happened in May 2011 and why did he distribute his wealth? And also I want the antonym of save. So we have here also a short paragraph, so I'm going to just look for the answers with you here. You can see that we have here the answers. The paragraph is actually short. Now there is the paragraph, or the date, sorry, 2011. So what happened in it? You can see that, yes, we have here, he announced that he was donating most of his 7.7 billion fortune to charity. And why did he do that? in order to avoid potential disputes. Do you remember the word dispute? Over inheritance. And we have here the antonym of save is to destroy. Moving on, we have here the questions. Why was he awarded the prestigious King Faisal International Prize? There are 4 reasons. We're going to look for them together. We have 2 things that Rajhi wanted to gain, and the noun of poor. So poor is an adjective. I want the noun. We have here, was he actually poor, Sheikh Sulaiman? So we're going to look for the answers together, the timer. We're going to just play it with each other. So we're going to search for our answers. We have here, he was awarded the prestigious. You can find in the second line, we have here the prestigious King Faisal. So why was he awarded this prize? In recognition of his outstanding service to Islam. This is going to be the first. We have the second, his role in the establishment of the world's largest Islamic bank, his ongoing contribution to charities, and we have here his humanitarian projects fight against poverty. Now, 2 things that Rajhi wanted to gain. We have here, of course, we have the noun of poor is poverty, as we mentioned. And was he poor? Actually, yes, he was. Moving on. Now, we have finished the reading. We have the after reading questions. In your book, you have here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 questions, comprehension questions. You are going to do the questions or search for the answers by yourself as homework, and we're going to go back to that. Now, we learned a lot about Sheikh Sulaiman Rajhi today, so I'm going to leave the rest for you. We have also a timeline that we are going to fill together in our next lesson. So your assignment is to organize Rajhi's most important achievements according to the timeline. I want you to take your time and just to search for the achievements that we mentioned here and just put them in order as we have here in the timeline. We explored the history of Sheikh Sulaiman Rajhi. We analyzed some reasons, or we have the questions and we searched for reasons. We have here also listed his achievements. And the last thing, we evaluated. And at the very end, you do have your homework. You are going to just read again, and we're going to complete, inshallah, in our next lesson. So be ready.